Lewis Hamilton has commended Ferrari for the underlying speed he believes the SF25 possesses, but he has also acknowledged that the team is now unable to capitalise on that promise. 6 races into the 2025 Formula One season, Ferrari finds itself in a difficult situation. The performance is there, according to Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, but something is fundamentally wrong. As the team prepares for its home race in Imola, the focus shifts to technical development, particularly a rear suspension that has come under heavy criticism. Could tweaks to this critical component bring Ferrari the consistency it urgently needs? Is a long and unpleasant learning curve yet ahead? The 7-time world champion believes the SF25 is better than the results reflect, but there's something suspiciously holding the team back. Lewis Hamilton is not letting a dismal start to the 2025 Formula One season dampen his enthusiasm for what he can accomplish at Ferrari. The 40-year-old made a surprise blockbuster transfer to the Scuderia during the winter, following 12 brilliant seasons with Mercedes, where he won 6 of his record-tying 7 world titles. Aside from his Shanghai sprint win, Hamilton has had an unimpressive start with Ferrari, sitting 8th in the championship after 6 rounds and having yet to finish on the podium. Hamilton's up-and-down weekend in Miami last time out was typical of his season. He finished 3rd in the sprint, but was 8th on Sunday after qualifying in 12th place. "I generally had a good day," he stated after the Miami Grand Prix. "8th doesn't really look like that, but I feel optimistic for the future. I think this car really does have performance, but something's holding us back at the moment. We've lost performance since China, round 2. And it's there. It's just, we can't use it. Until we get a fix for that, then this is where we are. But in the meantime, we can work on all the other stuff. It's still a tough week for us," Hamilton added. "But we're in a better position here, so we're clearly not as quick as we're able to be." Much of Hamilton's Miami race was spent arguing with his engineers over the radio, as he and teammate Charles Leclerc hampered one another while battling for the same place. Leclerc, who finished 8th in Miami, has also had a dismal season, currently 5th in the championship, with the previous weekend possibly his weakest ever. After qualifying 6th for the sprint, to which he responded, "The pace is just not there." He was unable to compete due to a pre-race crash and began the Grand Prix in 8th place. And after the Grand Prix, Leclerc doubled down on his previous lack of performance comment, saying, "Today wasn't the Sunday we wanted, and even though the pace is not there, I don't think there were any miracles. If everything had gone perfectly, maybe we would have finished in front of Kimi, Antonelli, P6, but that's it. There wasn't much more in the car, so I think we need to separate the two things. Yes, we need to fix those issues that probably cost us 1 position, the fight with Hamilton, but the other 7 or 6 positions are down to the car, and we need to make it better." Leclerc expects things to improve slightly next weekend at Imola, but believes his problems will resurface at the next round, his home event in Monaco, which he won last year. "I think Imola maybe could be good," said the 8-time Grand Prix winner. "Unfortunately, I'm really not looking forward to Monaco this year, as I don't think we've got a car to be great there." Ferrari is struggling greatly from a technical standpoint. The 2025 F1 season is bringing a lot of dissatisfaction, which is causing discontent among the squad. Vasseur stated that while updates are necessary, it is far more important to understand how to make the automobile function optimally. One area where the Reds clearly fall short is their inability to optimize the performance of the SF25, for better or worse. The month of May will be crucial for the historic Italian club. In fact, it will be evident whether it is worth continuing to push or focusing solely on next season. The racing campaign marks the implementation of the new regulatory authority. Things could alter dramatically if the team can adjust the car and improve technical understanding in order to uncover previously untapped potential. Otherwise, intelligence indicates accepting another stinging setback and devoting time and money to the 2026 initiative. In the meanwhile, we may talk about the Ferrari SF25 based on what we've seen in the first 6 rounds of the World Championship. From here, we can speculate on remedies and steps that the Italian team may choose to do based on the possibilities in the near future. There has been a lot of chatter recently concerning Ferrari's likely new rear suspension. The Maranello crew is having difficulty meeting the ride heights set by the project. Failure to employ the correct distance to the reference plane disrupts the entire setup research. As a result, the Reds' window for fine-tuning the SF25 has decreased significantly. On more than one occasion, we have stated that we cannot speak of an issue only related to kinematic stiffness, which has been accused of being too soft and enabling excessive excursion. The prancing horse's style allows for more squatting, which is a principle shared by the Italian car and the 2024 car that nearly won the World Championship. However, this layout may have less potential than the stiffer setups utilized by McLaren and Red Bull, particularly as the Italian technicians have yet to make the 2025 single-seater operate as well as they would want. In fact, the rear does not function properly, and there is always understeer, which inhibits performance. Raising the automobile narrows the aerodynamic map. Furthermore, pulling the car away from the asphalt results in a significant loss of load, which contributes to the absence of rotation. Many shadows surround an SF25 that the protagonists don't fully understand. The rear suspension might benefit from some improvement, such as rearranging the arms or internal components. However, Ferrari is currently analyzing to see whether or not the changes will be implemented. In Spain, we will see the new front wing, but there will be little improvements on the rear, given the short time frame and the difficulty of intervening in suspension schemes. Furthermore, it should be noted that the aerodynamic issues with the SF25's single-seater can readily be attributed to a lack of aeromechanical interaction, as stated multiple times by the protagonists themselves. Current F1 cars, viewed as actual systems, are highly nonlinear and reliant on numerous variables. When even one of these components fails, the entire vehicle suffers a severe loss of performance. Furthermore, wing cars are extremely sensitive to height changes, making getting the right compromise challenging. Charles Leclerc on board the Ferrari SF25 in the 2025 Miami Grand Prix. For this reason, we did not hesitate to express our grave reservations about the adoption of a new suspension, whether front or rear. In our situation, we were discussing the front pull rod, particularly on this type of automobile, where we have observed that the less you adjust, the better the result, as opposed to having to navigate a vast and convoluted learning curve to get the car to work properly. As for the rear end, we can only wait, keeping in mind that a new rear suspension cannot be considered a savior of the country element, especially in a technical scenario where this component is not the only negative discriminant, and that changing the rear end would open the door to a new learning curve that could be very long. As the season progresses and Imola approaches, Ferrari finds itself at a crossroads. Hamilton and Leclerc both talk with honesty and hope, but their on-track performance continues to fall short. The rear suspension may hold some answers, and future revisions to the front wing in Spain may disclose more, but no single fix appears ready to transform the SF25 into a race-winning machine overnight. With pressure growing and rivals including as McLaren and Red Bull rushing forward, the Scuderia must strike a balance between immediate problem resolution and long-term planning for 2026. If the following several rounds do not result in major gains, the team may be obliged to shift development totally to the future. For the time being, fans and the paddock are waiting to see if Ferrari can finally unlock the potential that Hamilton believes lies beneath the surface.